Ayo, Thrash here. We're going to go ahead and do another top 10 legends I want to see in NHL 17. You guys seem to love the last video I did, although I seem to miss some of these players here, and you guys ripped me a new one for it. So I'm going to go ahead, name 10 more I would love to see, and as always, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you let me know who you want to see in NHL 17. Did I miss your favorite player? If I did, I apologize, and maybe I'll do another list featuring them. If you did miss the first list, it'll be down in the description. Make sure you check that out, and let's get right into it, guys. So coming in at number 10, we got Scott Stevens, New Jersey Devil. Oh, man. Okay, if you don't know Scott Stevens, if you're too young or whatever, look him up and just watch him run people over. He's one of the best hitters of all time. He just laid people out. It was amazing. He had 908 points in 1,635 games with 2,785 penalty minutes. I swear to God, though. He is the best checker of all time. He won a Conn Smythe. He was in 13 All-Star games, and he had 3 Stanley Cups. Number 10, Scott Stevens. Okay, guys, and coming in at number 9 is Larry Murphy. He jumped around a few teams, most notably probably the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins, where he won 2 Stanley Cups with each team. He had 1,216 points in 1,615 games, and as a defenseman, that is crazy. That's great. He was in 4 All-Star games. He's a Hall of Famer, and I would love to see him in the game. Let's move on to number 8. And coming in at number 8 is going to be Eddie Belfour, the goalie. Alright, he jumped around quite a bit as well, probably most notably on the Dallas Stars. And okay, Eddie Belfour played for Chicago, played for Toronto, played for a couple other teams, I think. But he is so underrated, and you really don't hear about Eddie Belfour too much. He's 3rd all-time in goalie wins. 3rd. Like, you wouldn't know it, but he's 3rd all-time in goalie wins. He's won 2 Vezinas, 4 Jennings, a Calder, and he did win a Stanley Cup. You hear them talk back then, and you don't hear them talk about him now, but back then, talked about his legacy and blah 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 and all that. I would love to see how he played, how EA thinks he would have played, and I would love to have him in the game. Coming in at number 7, guys, we got Paul Kariya. Alright, Paul Kariya, what can I say about him? He missed out on his Stanley Cup with Anaheim, and that is extremely disappointing. He deserved a cup. He was a great player. He was purely a point-per-game player, and what I mean by that is, in 989 games, he had 989 points. That's crazy. That is awesome. Like, that is the coolest thing. Paul Kariya actually won 2 Lady Bings. He was in 7 All-Star games, and no, he did not get his Stanley Cup. He did win a silver and a gold medal with Team Canada. Paul Kariya, I would love to have him out there with his teammate, Teemu Selanne, who is on this list a little higher up. That'll make some of you guys happy. And, you know what? Having them together next year, it would be great. Okay, guys, coming in at number 6, we got Ron Francis. Alright, so here's the deal with Ron Francis. 1,798 points in 1,731 games. Alright, so he had more than a point per game. He had 3 seasons where he had more than 100 points. Alright. And 95-96 with Pittsburgh, he had 119 points. Alright. He won a Selke, 3 Lady Bings. He was in 4 All-Star games. He won a King Clancy, which I, until today, did not know what that was. I looked it up. It's kind of cool. And he won 2 Stanley Cups. So, guys, Ron Francis, I would love to see him in the game as well. Big guy. Could run some people over for us. I think he's 6'3" if I'm not mistaken, so he's a big guy. He can definitely play the physical game. He wasn't around too much when I was older, really getting into hockey. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to see him play too much, but I mean, looking at his stats, looking at some highlights, he's clearly an amazing player, and I'd love to see him in the game. Alright, guys, coming in at number 5, we got Adam Oates. Okay, I don't know too much about Adam Oates, I will admit it. I know him as a former coach of the Washington Capitals. I do remember that. But, looking at his stats, guys, he was incredible. 1,420 points in 1,337 games, so more than a point per game. In 92-93, he had 142 points. That's crazy. And he was in 5 All-Star games. But what's crazy about it is that he had over 1,000 assists. So he didn't have a lot of goals. He didn't put up a lot of goal numbers. No big deal, though, because he was a playmaker. Could you imagine Adam Oates saucing over to Ovi? Oh, man, I would love to have it happen. Holy crap. Okay, so put it this way. If you have Adam Oates and Alex Ovechkin on the same team, you're getting goals. Adam Oates is going to set up Ovi every time. 1,000+ assists in your career. Ovi's just going to snipe that every time. I would love to see it. Okay, guys, coming in at number 4 is Phil Esposito. Okay, so again, way before my time. Back in a time where, you know, goalies were a lot smaller, didn't have a lot of pads, defensemen were a lot smaller, but holy shit, look at these numbers. 1,590 points in 1,282 games, He had 6 years where he had more than 125 points. That's crazy, guys. 152 points in 70-71. He had 5 Art Rosses, 2 Lindsays, a Patrick, 2 Harts. He's a 10-time All-Star, and he won 2 Stanley Cups. Phil Esposito, please, for the love of God, be an NHL 17. I would love to try you out. Unfortunately, again, it's too young. Obviously, I wasn't even born when he was around. Like, that's not even a thing. But I would love to see how he played and get the feel and all that. And I'm sure they can mirror it pretty well. Coming in at number 3, we got Mark Messier. Okay, so Mark Messier, what can I say? I don't know him too much. I watched him play near the end of his career, but that's about it. I didn't see too much before that, unfortunately. But he had 1,887 points in 1,756 games. He had 2 Lindsays, a Patrick, 2 Harts, a Conn Smythe, and he won 6 Stanley Cups. Put this guy in the game, guys. And he was one of the big players that you guys wanted. You guys were like, hey, you forgot Mark Messier. Where's Mark Messier? Okay, here he is, number 3 on this list. I do apologize if I made any of you guys unhappy. I didn't have him in the first list, but I guess I was a little biased in the first list, putting in a few Red Wings. But Mark Messier, definitely, I'd love to see in NHL 17. Coming in at number 2, we got Jean Beliveau. Okay, if I'm saying it wrong, I do apologize. I actually haven't really heard it said. I know he passed away, unfortunately, a couple years ago, and his stats are incredible. 1,219 points in 1,125 games. He won an Art Ross, 2 Harts, a Conn Smythe. He was in 13 All-Star games. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award from the NHL, and he won 10, count them, 10 Stanley Cups. And I'm sure all you Montreal Canadian fans would love to have him in the game. So Jean Beliveau, number 2 in my list, and number 1 is going to be Teemu Selanne, and that'll make all you guys happy, because I think like 200 people commented saying, where's Teemu Selanne? Alright guys, here's Teemu Selanne, number 11 in my top 20 Legends list I want to see, okay? He's in there. I actually was going to put him and Scott Stevens in the last list, but I ended up putting in a couple more obscure Legends, and now you guys were unhappy with that, so I don't know. But anyways, here he is, Teemu Selanne. He had 1,457 points in 1,451 games. He won the Calder, a Richard, a Masterton, 10 All-Star games. He did win a Stanley Cup, and in his rookie season, guys, he put up 76 goals, 132 points. That's crazy. Teemu Selanne, I'd love to see you in the game, playing next to Paul Kariya. If anything, I'd love to just have a bunch of Legends you could put together, just make teams and have them play and have chemistry based on how they used to. I don't know. I think it'd be really cool just having a bunch of Legends, being able to put them out there. But that's my list. Thank you so much for watching. Who did I miss? I know I'm going to miss somebody, and you guys are going to be upset about it, so please let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.